Thank you very much for joining us once again, and we are discussing a goAML scope of goAML in UAE. In the past few days, we have got a lot of questions from a lot of people from the market. They are asking either the goAML is applicable on them or not. This is a big confusion into the market, and to remove this confusion, this is what we have decided to make another video, another lecture. Definitely it will be very supportive for the people, and to support the people we have decided to make this video. It will give them more clarification either the goAML is applicable on them or not. As we discussed in our previous lecture, the goAML is applicable on the financial institutions as well as designated non-financial businesses and professions as well. We will discuss in the financial institutions, anyone who conducts one or several of the following activities, then the person or entity will be subject to goAML. They will be required to register themselves, then they will be required to comply the different requirements of goAML as well. So in this in this section we have decided that the goAML is applicable on the banks, exchange houses, insurance companies, finance houses. They are providing credit facilities of all types, entities involved in the finance lease we will discuss in detail. The second category that we discussed was the goAML is applicable on the designated non-financial business and professions, and we have concluded anyone who is conducting any business out of the following, they will be required to register themselves as a goAML. So who were the name of the people? These were the brokers, real estate agents, dealers in precious metals and stone, lawyers, notaries, independent legal professional, auditors, accountants, tax consultant, and business service provider. We'll discuss all these categories one by one. So first of all is financial institution. In the definition sections of the AML regulations, it has been given anyone who conducts one or several of the financial activities or operations of or on behalf of the customer, it will be called financial institution. So what are those financial activities and operations? It has been given the financial activities or operations. These are the financial activities and operations. Anyone who is receiving deposits that can be paid by the public, including deposit in accordance with the Islamic Sharia, private banking services, providing credit facilities of all types, providing credit facilities of all types, including credit facilities in accordance with the Islamic Sharia, providing cash brokerage services, financial transactions in securities like finance and finance leasing, providing currency exchange and money transfer services, issuing and managing means of payment, guarantee and obligation, providing stored value services, electronic payments, providing virtual banking services, trading, investing, operating or managing funds, option contracts, future contracts. These are all basically all derivatives, and whoever is dealing with the derivative, participating in issuing securities and providing financial services, managing funds and portfolios, saving funds, preparing or marketing financial activities, insurance transaction or any other activity or financial transaction that will be determined by the supervisory authority. So they said anyone who is providing any of these activities of or on behalf of the customer, they will be required to register themselves as a financial institutions. They will be required to comply the various requirements of goAML as well. It has been given in the guide of goAML. This is Article 2.3 and Article 3 of the Cabinet Decision 10 of 2019. They showed all applicable. They are all applicable to all such natural person and legal persons who are involved in the various activities as we discussed earlier. And these different categories, these categories can be banks, finance companies, exchange houses, money service businesses including hawaladdar and other monetary value transfer services. Insurance company will be required to register, agencies and brokers as well, securities and commodities broker as well, dealers, advisors, investment broker, investment managers and other financial institutions which have not been mentioned here, who was providing any of the following, any of the 17 services that were discussed earlier. They will be required to register under the goAML. The second category is designated non-financial business and professions. So they have given 5 categories. In these 5 categories, anyone who is falling out of these 5 categories, they will be required to register themselves as well. So out of these 5 categories, the first one is broker and real estate agents, dealers in precious metals and precious stones, lawyers, notaries and other independent legal professionals, auditors, accountants and tax consultant, corporate service providers. If your business is following any of them, then definitely you will be required to register yourself. Now we'll discuss out of the all categories, we'll discuss each category one by one. The first one is a broker and real estate agents. It has been written in the regulation that the brokers and real estate agents, when they conclude operation for the benefit of their customer with respect to purchase and sale of the real estate, means if there is any broker or a real estate agent, they are buying the real estate or they are selling the real estate on behalf of the customer, then they will be required to register under the goAML. If they are not performing this activity, then they will not be liable to required to register. Means if the company is involved in the leasing business, they will not be required to register. If the company is involved in the buying or selling the property, this is for themselves, not for the customer, then I personally believe it will not be required to register as well. The same thing has been mentioned in the goAML guide as well. They said, we engage in activities related to the sale and purchase of a real estate transaction on behalf of the customer. If you are not doing anything on behalf of the customer, then definitely you are not liable to register under the goAML. Brokers and real estate agents, they say transaction involving sale, purchase, lease, financing. They say this is a topology for money laundering and the financing of terrorism. A recent study indicates that after the cash and checks, real estate based ML represents on the top of the trend in money laundering and financing of terrorism. This is the reason that they have decided to include this category under the goAML. And what is the reason that this is highly suspicious, and this is the area where the maximum chances of money laundering and financing of terrorism? The reason is relatively low level of awareness to the people who are in this sector, lower degree of transparency, size of the real estate market is too big, ease of doing business, relatively stability and profitability of the real estate market. These are the factors that this category is highly risky category, and it has been included in the goAML respective non-designated businesses and professions. The second category is dealers in precious metals and precious stones. Article 3.2 of the respective goAML regulation states that dealers and precious metals and precious stones in carrying out any single transactions in cash or several transactions that are interrelated are equal to at least 55,000, then they are required to register themselves under the goAML. So we'll look into this, who are the dealers, then we'll look into the what are the precious metals and precious stones. Guide, again, there are recent studies, it has been conducted here as well, and this recent study says that they are inherently high vulnerable to the misuse as exploitation of the by criminals, the money that has been taken from them. What is the reason for this? They said precious metals and stone represent high intrinsic value, easily transported, traded or exchanged with the relativity, anonymity, difficulty in tracing, difficulty to distinguish between the legitimate transactions and their illicit counterparts. So these are the factors due to which this category has already been included in the goAML non-designated business and profession, which are required to register as well. So who are the dealers? They said this dealer can be any natural person or legal person. We had just discussed dealers which are dealing with the precious stones and metals, and the value of that transaction in cash, individual transaction or interrelated transaction is more than 55,000 dirham, they are liable to register. We have discussed the word dealer. Dealer means any natural person, any legal person, any natural person, any legal person, or their employee or their representative as well, who engaged as a regular component of the business activities, and these are business activities of production and trade of the precious metal, then this dealer will be required to register as well. So activities which has been given as the production and trade of the precious metal, they said these are the activity which will be considered under the production and trade. So anyone who is involved in the extraction, purchase, sale, repurchase, resale, barter, exchange, loan, lease arrangement and possession of the precious metals, and this person is a natural person or legal person or their employee or their representative who is regular component of their business activity, then they will be liable to register as well, subject to the condition individual transaction in cash is more than 55,000 and all interrelated transactions are more than 55,000 in cash. Then they discuss the precious metals as well. They said gold, silver and platinum. These are the precious metals and their purity has been given 500 parts out of the 800 parts per thousand, 850 parts per thousand, 500 parts per thousand. So these will fall under the precious metals. So far as precious stones are concerned, they are diamond on any weight in carats, diamond, polished diamonds as well. These are different categories. If this is a loose with a minimum weight of 0.3 carats per stone, if this is mounted with a minimum weight of 0.5 carats per any single stone mounted in a setting with one or more stones. Colored gemstones as well, again this is rubies, sapphires, loose with a minimum of weight of 1 carat per stone and mounted 2 carat per any single stone mounted, it will fall under the precious metals. Pearls loose with a minimum diameter of 3 millimeter per bead, it will fall under the precious metals. Strung or mounted with a setting with a minimum diameter of 10 millimeter per any single bead, it will fall under the pearl as well. Moreover, they said any other precious metals and stone can be included in it, which where at least 50% of its monetary value is comprised of precious metals and stone. So any object in which 50% of the monetary value is comprised of precious metals and stone, then it will fall under this category as well. Moreover, they said any other types of metals and gemstones which technically not considered to be precious metals and stones, but due to the high risk of money laundering and terror financing, such material can be included as well, like high value industrial metals, coltan, cobalt, platinoid metals, rhodium, a variety of semi-precious gemstones as well, and synthetic, treated and artificial gemstones as well, where there are chances of money laundering and financing of terrorism. So these can be included, these has been included in the precious metals and precious stone as well. The third category is lawyers, notaries and other legal professionals and practitioners. According to the Article 3, subsection 3 of the goAML, it should be goAML regulations, not guide, sorry for this. So lawyers, notaries and independent legal professional, independent accountant we will discuss in the next category. When preparing, conducting or executing financial transaction for their customer, they are liable to register under the goAML as well. And these are the different activities they have given: purchase and sale of the real estate, management of funds owned by the customer, management of bank accounts, saving accounts, security accounts, organizing contribution for the establishment, operations or management of companies, creating, operating, managing legal persons or legal arrangements, selling and buying of commercial entities for their customer. They will be required to register under the goAML as well. Independent accountants, again it has been mentioned under the Article 3, subsection 3 of the goAML regulations, that independent accountants are required to register as well if they are involved in these activities. The activities are same that got discussed in the previous page. So why the audit profession independent accountant has been included in it? They say the audit profession are in a unique position to identify the potential anti-money laundering and the more vulnerabilities as well to detect the potentially suspicious transaction. This is the reason it has been included. It has been noted that the scope of the supplemental guidance is intended to cover the audit professional act independently. Now this is very interesting. In the regulation, it has been given independent auditors are liable to register. In the guide, it has been given that independent auditors are liable to register under the goAML. They categorically said that internal auditors are not liable to register. So we were already under the impression that only independent accountant who are acting an auditor, they are liable to register. Tax consultants as well as accountants are not liable to register. But just a couple of days before, the clarification has been given by the Ministry of Finance. This is the one checklist that they have given on their portal. They said, are you a real estate firm? There is no doubt about this because this is straightforward and clear thing. If you are buying or selling the property on behalf of the customer, then you are liable to register. But they have included the real estate developer as well, because real estate developer, they said, might be definitely they will be doing the same activity, buying and selling the property on behalf of the customer. They will be liable to register as well. Auditing, accounting and tax consultancy. Now these are the two new words. If you are in the accounting business or you are in the tax consultancy business, you are liable to register as well. Your dealer of precious metals and stone, you are liable to register. We have already discussed this. And your trust or company service provider will discuss in the next section. So the crux and nutshell of this section is, as an independent accountant, either you are an auditing company, either you are an accounting company, or you are providing tax consultancy services, you are liable to register under the goAML. Corporate service provider, Article 3, subsection 4 of the goAML regulation stated very clearly, providers of corporate services and trust, upon performing or executing a transaction on behalf of the customer, they are liable to register as well. This is a very key word in the throughout the guide, throughout the law. We have seen that everyone who is doing on behalf of the customer, they are liable to register. Even in the banking sector, they said of or on behalf of the customer. In the same thing they said in the real estate sector as well, auditing section as well, now in the corporate service provider section as well. So they said on our behalf of the customer, if you are doing anything on our behalf of the customer, you are liable to register. But specifically a dealer in the precious stone, they said dealer are liable to register because the very high chances to move the transaction due to the anonymity. So anyway, coming back to the topic, corporate service provider are liable to register as well. They said the corporate service provider can be executing following activities on behalf of the customer. These activities are acting as an agent in the creation and establishment of legal person, working as a director or secretary of a company or a partner in a similar position. These are the activities can be performed as well. Providing a registered office, work address, residence, correspondence address, administrative address of a legal person or legal arrangement. Performing work or equipping another person to act as a trustee for their direct trust to perform a similar function in order for another legal arrangement. Working or equipping another person to act as a nominee, nominal shareholder in favor of another person. So if any corporate service provider is performing any of the following activities, so you will be liable to register as well. Usually the company which are involved in the lawyers, notaries, independent legal professional, company and corporation services, they are liable to register. And the reason that they have given this are particularly very vulnerable to misuse, exploit, even targeted recruitment by both individual criminals and organized criminal network engaged in money laundering and financing of terrorism. They are easy to target. They are the front line. They are key gatekeeping role. So there are maximum chances of misuse of the corporate vehicle to transfer the funds from here and there. That's why this section has been included very specifically, that the corporate service providers are required to register as well. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm hopeful it will be quite helpful for you. In case you have any question, in case you are in need of any clarification, you can give us a call here. Definitely we will be available there. It would be pleasure to support you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks for watching the video. Click on the bell and subscribe to the YouTube channel.